Are you ignoring these 5 pancreatic cancer warning signs, like Alan Rickman? On January 2025, we remember the life and legacy of Alan Rickman, a brilliant actor whose unforgettable performances touched hearts across the globe. From his iconic role as Professor Severus Snape, head of Slytherin House, Defense Against the Dark Arts, the Half-Blood Prince and Order of the Phoenix member in the Harry Potter series, to his wide-ranging work on stage and screen, Rickman's career was a testament to his depth and range. Off-screen, he faced a courageous battle with prostate cancer, which he was diagnosed with in 2005, and ultimately passed away from pancreatic cancer in 2016. Did you know what Alan Rickman wrote about his prostate cancer in his secret diary? Alan Rickman's secret diaries reveal why he chose to continue playing Snape after being diagnosed with prostate cancer. The actor, who starred in Harry Potter from 2001 to 2011, kept journals from 1992, documenting his career and personal life. Early excerpts, published by The Guardian, share his experience with Snape and his cancer diagnosis. Before filming Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, Rickman was diagnosed with prostate cancer and opted for surgery at Vanderbilt University Medical Center in 2006. In his diaries, he describes the surreal experience of going to the hospital, writing, "This is like a film set. Nothing seems real, remembering nothing but with that painkiller high in the recovery room, attentive, caring people." Despite the diagnosis, Rickman decided to continue as Snape, writing, "The argument that wins is the one that says, 'See it through, it's your story.'" His health seemed to impact him on set, with Rickman noting how the role of Snape made him more withdrawn and less communicative with the crew. Rickman completed his role as Snape with his final appearance in Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. Alan Rickman passed away on January 14, 2016, at the age of 69, after a brief but intense battle with pancreatic cancer. His diagnosis came shortly after he experienced a minor stroke in August 2015, which led to further medical evaluation and the discovery of the disease. Rickman kept his illness largely private, sharing the news only with close friends and family. The announcement of his death elicited a profound reaction from fans and colleagues alike. Many expressed their shock and sorrow, as Rickman had appeared to be in good health just weeks before his passing. Tributes flooded in from across the entertainment industry, highlighting not only his remarkable talent, but also his kindness and generosity as a person. The Pancreatic Cancer Action Network issued a statement mourning his loss and emphasizing the urgent need for increased awareness and research funding for pancreatic cancer, which has one of the lowest survival rates among major cancers. Rickman's death came just days after that of David Bowie, another beloved figure who had kept his cancer diagnosis private. This timing further amplified the sense of loss within the community. Many fans reflected on Rickman's iconic roles, particularly as Severus Snape in the Harry Potter series, and how his performances had touched their lives. His legacy continues to inspire discussions about pancreatic cancer and the importance of early detection and research for better treatment options. After Rickman's death, J.K. Rowling, who the author of Harry Potter, wrote an emotional twit. In Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, Snape makes his first appearance with his back to the audience. At the dress rehearsal, I saw him in his long black wig, and my eyes filled with tears because, for a split second, my irrational heart believed when Snape turned round, I'd see Alan. Alan was the kind who didn't make a fuss. Even when his body whispered, then pleaded, he stayed silent. He was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer in August 2015, and by January 2016, he was gone. But his body had been sending messages long before that, messages too easy to ignore. Let me walk you through 5 signs, 5 red flags that often go unnoticed, just like they did with Alan. Number 1, sudden weight loss, the vanishing frame. In the final months of Alan Rickman's life, those closest to him noticed something subtle. His frame was thinning. Not drastically, not overnight, but slowly, quietly. The man known for his commanding presence in Harry Potter and Die Hard began to look smaller beneath his tailored coats and dark costumes. Many brushed it off. Some thought it was for a role. After all, actors change their bodies all the time. But Alan wasn't prepping for a transformation. He wasn't on a diet, nor did he have time for intense workouts during filming. This was something deeper, something dangerous. Unexplained weight loss is one of the early signs of pancreatic cancer, a disease often called the silent killer because symptoms are vague and easy to dismiss. Alan, known for his stoicism and humility, never made his health public. He chose to keep his diagnosis private after it came in August 2015, just months before his death. But the truth is, the signs were likely there earlier. According to close friends, he had been losing weight steadily during his final years, well before any official diagnosis. Looking back, it wasn't just a change in appearance, it was his body crying for help. Yet, like many men of his generation, he may have dismissed it as stress, aging, or the demands of his profession. This is where cancer symptoms men ignore become deadly. When your body begins shedding pounds without a change in routine, it's not just coincidence, it's a red flag. Alan's unexplained weight loss was a warning sign, but he, like many, didn't want to seem alarmist. Had it been caught earlier, who knows? But that's the cruel trick of pancreatic cancer symptoms. They hide in plain sight. Alan Rickman left behind a legacy of art, compassion, and unforgettable performances. But perhaps his final gift is this lesson. If your body starts to change in ways you can't explain, listen. Don't wait, because sometimes the most heroic thing you can do is speak up early. Number 2, the back pain. Alan Rickman laughed off, a deadly warning sign. Did you know one of the early signs of pancreatic cancer can be something as ordinary as back pain? Alan Rickman, yes, the legendary voice behind Professor Snape, felt it. A quiet ache in his lower back and upper abdomen. He once brushed it off in an interview, saying with a slight grin, "I guess that's what 60 feels like." That was Alan, dignified, always calm, never wanting to worry anyone. But what he didn't know, or maybe didn't want to believe, was that this pain wasn't from aging or a stiff spine. It was a back pain cancer warning. You see, pancreatic cancer grows silently, deep in the body, and as it develops, it starts pressing on nearby nerves. That pressure shows up as dull pain, right in the upper belly or back. It's one of those cancer symptoms you should never ignore, and not because it doesn't scream, it whispers. And Alan, like many, didn't hear it until it was too late. What hurts the most is how ordinary it seemed. A little discomfort during filming, a sore spot after long hours on set. But beneath it was something far more dangerous. By the time Alan was diagnosed in August 2015, the cancer had already advanced. He passed just 5 months later. His story reminds us, never ignore persistent pain, especially if it's new, unexplained, or worsening. Alan Rickman gave us unforgettable characters. Let his real-life story give us something more, awareness. The stomach pain. Alan Rickman kept quiet, a warning in every bite. Alan Rickman had a refined taste. He loved sharing a good meal with friends, a quiet glass of wine after the stage lights dimmed. But in the last year of his life, something changed. He started avoiding certain foods, small portions, quiet excuses. "Just not feeling great today," he'd say with that familiar half-smile. But behind that charm was discomfort, bloating, stomach pain, and nausea that he never made public. You see, digestive problems can be an early sign of pancreatic cancer. The pancreas helps the body digest fats and regulate blood sugar. When cancer interferes with its function, your whole digestive system starts to rebel. Bloating, indigestion, feeling full quickly, even with small meals. Friends noticed he'd skip out on heavier dishes. Others recalled how he'd rub his stomach discreetly during shoots, shift in his chair as if trying to hide the unease. But like many of us, Alan likely assumed it was just a stomach bug, stress, or getting older. It wasn't. His stomach discomfort was a cancer warning sign, one of the earliest. But the signs were gentle, quiet, and Alan was too dignified to complain. That's the cruel thing about pancreatic cancer. It doesn't always come with screams. It whispers through our stomachs, our backs, our weight. By the time the diagnosis came, it was too late. The cancer had stolen too much. So if you feel persistent bloating, nausea, or upper belly discomfort that won't go away, don't ignore it. Don't brush it off like Alan did. Listen to your gut, literally, because sometimes the smallest discomforts are your body's loudest cries for help. 4. The yellowing in Alan Rickman's eyes, a sign too easy to miss. There was a moment, quiet, fleeting, when someone close to Alan Rickman noticed a change. Not in his words, not in his walk, but in his eyes. They looked a little yellow, not bright or glowing, just tinted, like old paper in warm light. Maybe it was the lighting on set, they thought, or maybe he was just tired. After all, yellow eyes in adults can be caused by many harmless things. But in Alan's case, it was a deadly warning. This subtle yellowing was jaundice, a telltale sign of pancreatic cancer. You see, when a tumor begins pressing on the bile duct, it blocks the normal flow of bile into the intestine. That bile then builds up in the body, turning the skin and whites of the eyes yellow. It can also darken urine, lighten stool, and cause itching all over the body. But Alan never talked about it. He never brought it up in interviews or with the press. That's who he was, private, strong, never wanting to seem weak. And that's what makes this so heartbreaking. Jaundice is one of the most visible pancreatic cancer symptoms. But because it starts so subtly, it's often dismissed or overlooked, just like it was with Alan. By the time the signs became too obvious to ignore, the cancer had already advanced beyond the point of return. His story isn't just about loss, it's about awareness. If you or someone you love notices yellowing in the eyes or skin, don't wait. Ask questions, get checked, because sometimes the eyes show what the mouth won't say. And sometimes, the light in our eyes is the first sign of something fading. Number 5, the exhaustion. Alan Rickman carried a silent goodbye. Alan Rickman had a presence that filled every room, a commanding voice, a gaze that could cut glass. But in the final months of his life, there was something different. A slowness in his step, a stillness in his voice, like a flame burning low, refusing to go out but undeniably dimming. Alan was tired, but not the kind of tired that sleep fixes. This was extreme fatigue, the kind that lives in your bones, that turns simple tasks into mountains. He kept working, kept showing up, but behind the camera, he was exhausted. Friends said he grew quieter, spent more time alone, smiled less, not out of sadness, but because the energy just wasn't there. Fatigue is one of the most common signs of pancreatic cancer. As the body fights the tumor, it uses up everything: nutrients, strength, even will. That unshakable tiredness isn't just getting older, it's the body waving a white flag. But Alan didn't want pity. He didn't want headlines about illness, so he endured silently, brushing it off as work stress or age. Maybe he believed it himself. By the time doctors discovered the truth, the cancer had already spread. His body had been trying to tell him, and all of us. If you're feeling a constant, unexplained fatigue, one that lingers no matter how much you rest, don't ignore it, especially if it's paired with weight loss, digestive issues, or pain. It might be more than stress. It might be something your body is begging you to see. Alan Rickman gave us everything: his art, his voice, his soul. Let his final chapter be a lesson. Listen when your body whispers, because it may not get the chance to shout. Don't wait for the silence. Alan Rickman taught us that strength doesn't always shout. Sometimes it endures quietly, behind a smile, beneath a script, beneath pain. But in health, silence can be fatal. Pancreatic cancer is one of the deadliest because it speaks softly until it's too late. Alan's story isn't just one of loss, it's a wake-up call. The early signs of pancreatic cancer, like back pain, sudden weight loss, stomach issues, jaundice, and fatigue, are easy to dismiss, easy to excuse. But your body never lies. So please, don't ignore the whispers. If something feels off, no matter how small, talk to your doctor. Get checked, ask questions, listen. And if this video opened your eyes, even a little, share it with someone you care about. You never know whose life it might save. Subscribe for more real stories that turn pain into purpose. Comment below if you've ever faced a silent health scare. We see you, and you're not alone. Because the greatest tribute we can give to Alan Rickman is to live aware, live early, and live well.